Okay, I'm live. Sorry about that. I was having a dotty call with one of my amazing dotties, and had an idea. So as soon as I got off the phone or off the Skype, off the Zoom, do we say off there now? I decided, I was like, I need to write that idea a little bit later. Let me just check that I'm live. When you get here, let me know. Say hi. It's been a little while since I've done a training in here. Right. I was like, I need to write. Here we go. Watching it on my old phone, trusty phone, because laptops and lives are terrible at putting comments up. So let me know when you're here. Say hello. If there is somebody who you know needs to or would want to or would get value from this training, please make sure that you invite them. Hit that share button. Hey Holly, and invite them over. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? Who here, and I don't know whether anyone else has done this, but who here has just got into the swing of things after Christmas? I have. I've literally just got into doing stuff, working after the Christmas period. As you can see, I've still got all of my stuff around because I'm just I haven't even done my tidying, my post-Christmas tidying. Just got rid of the wrapping paper and all that kind of thing. And I'm really focused on what goals I want to hit in 2018. So who else is just kind of getting back into it? Or is it just me? Is everyone else kind of like, well, hey, no, I'm done it. Goals are set, ready to rock. Hey, Stacey, how are you? Love it, Holly, that's me. So I'm there too. And obviously I popped in last week and I let you guys know what happened to me. I had obviously a bit of a fall, did my back in, had to have a bit of a procedure done to get my back where it needed to be. And because I was high on painkillers and life, it meant that I didn't get my January activities done at the times that I'd normally do them. You know, normally I'd be planning out January before Christmas, but I had launches and stuff, and then I went into January and I put my back out, and so I was like, oh, now I've got this and this is a problem. And actually what I found was that I fell back into that trap of, I've got huge visions for 2018, but I'm not sure how I'm going to execute them, right? And so that's what I sat down to do this week. As I started to get back into this week, I'm not in pain anymore. You know, I'm purely focusing on client delivery at the moment, purely focusing on my community and all that kind of thing. Now I've got the time to sit back and say, okay, here's the vision for 2018. How am I going to hit it? And that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, so it's really, it's not something to beat yourself up about, I guess, is the big thing. It's not about beating yourself with a stick because you haven't set a massive 2018 goal yet. And it's not also about setting a huge goal and then going, I'm just gonna, write it down every day and hope that it happens. So there are a couple of things that I want to go through and a couple of strategies that I'm going to give you. I'm going to share a little bit about my goals for this year and how I'm going to make them happen. And then I'm going to share a couple of things that really make achieving the goal an actual probability rather than one of those things you go, oh yeah, I wrote it in my really nice planner. And I've done this. I bought a Carrie Green planner this year. Did anyone else buy a planner this year? Anyone else got one? Who has got what planner? Because I bought a Carrie Green one. I'm just going to show it to you 1 second. So I move everything else off my desk. Give me a mo. So I bought a Carrie Green planner. The problem I have with it is that it's this big. Right? It's bigger than my head. Is the problem that I have. So when I go to write anything in it, I have to take it out of the massive box, and it's really beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it's really beautiful, but it's just so massive I can't keep it anywhere. So I haven't actually put anything in it at the moment because it's quite difficult to write in it. I've got a passion planner. See, I've heard really good things about passion planners. Maybe I need to get me one of those. I've seen people get really into planners, and I usually am really into planners. Usually I have a day designer and all this kind of stuff. But this year I went for the Carrie Green one, and I was like, it's just too big. It doesn't fit on my desk, and I don't think I've got an abnormally small desk. Hello, IKEA. Helping me out with DIY since 2000 and whenever they were made. But yeah, it's just a bit on the large side. So if anyone's got any recommendations for a great planner, let me know. But accountability, so goal setting. Who has, throw up an emoji if you have set a goal this year. So if you've set a financial goal, or you've set a branding goal, or you've set a visibility goal, or you've set a PR goal, or you've set a learning and development goal, throw up an emoji if you have set any kind of goal for your life or business this year. Personally, I've set up goals for life stuff. So one of my life goals, and I was talking to the Dotties about this yesterday, is to have at least one date night a month, right? I was like, at least one, because otherwise all that happens is Sam gets home of a weekend and we're like, oh, what do you want to do? And both of us go, what do you want to do? No, what do you want to do? No, what do you want to do? And in the end, we end up doing nothing. And it's like, crap. It's just completely rubbish. You know, we just kind of sit there and binge Netflix. So one of my big things this year is that I'm going to have at least one date night every month. And I'm going to get back into running. Yay. Because obviously everyone knows how successful my gymming was last year. I went all the time and I lost £0. £0. How is that even possible? £0. So all of those times I spent every day in the gym between August and December, lost £0. Not that I'm bitter. So financial goals, love it. Yeah. So for my business, I've set 3 goals this year. So I've set a financial goal, which is a stretch goal from last year. So we totted up all the totals, looked at the money that we made last year, looked at the profit that I made last year. And the financial goal this year is a stretch based on that. So the financial goal for us this year is not just about how much revenue are we generating as a company, but also about how much profit are we actually making, because that's really important. And in the online space, we don't talk about profit all that often. Last year in my business, we were really fortunate to have a 48% profit margin, which is actually really good, and you know, did really well. So this year we want to expand on that, and we want to be in the 50 percentile for profit. So basically half of everything that we do is profit in the business, which would be really cool. I have another goal which is around branding and visibility, and I shot off a little email to Amanda, who does my PR, yesterday, and I said, look, these are some of the places I want to be featured in 2018. So actively campaigning for Entrepreneur on Fire, Smart Passive Income, Success Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, bunch of those different things. And I was like, for me, this year when I talk about being visible, I really want to scale up my efforts with PR, hence hiring Amanda, and really be appearing on some of those big name podcasts and big name magazines. So really fortunate in that 2017 we came in and I was like, I want to get into Forbes and I want to do some stuff on Huffington Post and Thrive and all that kind of stuff, and YFS, and we achieved that. This year I'm like, right, okay, I want to go even further down that road and do even more. Hey Bernadine and Susan, how are you, my loves? So, and then the final goal I've set is a learning and development goal myself. So, and that's all about doing some external learning. So for those of you who don't know, I have decided a few years ago to do a second degree in forensic psychology. Don't ask, I really like criminal minds, love the whole behavioural analysis thing. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just do that with like Open University. And it actually finishes. So I will be finished. And so my learning and development goal is less about learning and development in my business and more about what can I do next. So what do I want to learn about? And what do I want to do? And at the moment, I'm contemplating whether or not to do a master's degree. I don't know really at the moment. So if you've already got goals, it's really easy to look at them at the beginning of the year and say, this year I'm going to create a 6-figure, multi-6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, I think is being pimped as the new thing now, business in 2018, right? It's really easy to get sucked into just saying, that's my goal and off I go. But if we don't have a plan, it makes it really hard to actually make that happen. So one of the things that I want to share with you guys today are the things that have kept me successful and that have actually meant that I've turned goals into reality, rather than sitting back and in 6 months' time going, oh God, I still haven't hit that, and then rushing for the last 6 months of the year to try and make something happen. So for me, the first bit is about setting an appropriate goal. Okay, it's not about setting a SMART goal. I don't really go along the lines of, it has to be timely and it has to be measured and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we like it to be measured and we want it to happen within a specific time frame, but I don't hang on that acronym. So for me, a goal has to be something that I can realistically achieve. So, I couldn't turn around now and say in January, okay, by December 2018, I want to be an Olympic sprinter. That's probably not going to happen. I'd really love it if it did, don't get me wrong. I'd be like, wait, that's awesome. But it's probably not going to happen, so it's not realistic. So when I look at my goals, they have to be realistic. They have to be achievable. So think about your goal. If you're currently at zero money a month, it's a little unrealistic to say, I'm going to make a 7-figure business this year. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to piss on your parade and say that you can't have that as a goal, but we've got to think about reality. We've got to make sure that these goals are challenges, that they stretch you, but that if you, in hitting them, it doesn't need to be some kind of miracle, right? And that it is actually possible. Hey, Sam, how are you, love? So that's the first thing. Think about your goal. What is the real goal? If you are currently at 0 money a month, is your goal to make your first 5K a year, like first 5K a month consistently, and you want to get your first 5K a month by March and then be consistent at 5K and above until December. That'd be a great goal, right? Oh man. I literally just said that in the voice that I imagined you saying it. I'm like, oh man. So you've got to set a realistic goal, okay? And that goes whether it's financial, whether it's about visibility, whether it's a health goal, whatever. You're not going to lose 30 pounds in 2 weeks. I know, because I went to the gym every day from September to December and I lost not one single solitary bloody pound. So yeah, 30 pounds in 2 weeks, it wasn't going to happen for me. So keep it realistic and give yourself the ability to measure it and time it. Okay, so keep it measurable. If it's going to be a health goal or a financial goal, it is easy to go, oh, I've lost £1 a week, or it is easy to say, look, I'm doing my totals and I'm making 3K a month and I need an extra 2. But you've got to be able to do that and you've got to actually stick to it. And that's kind of the hard part. So when you're setting the goal, yes, it's got to be challenging. Yes, it's got to be realistic. Yes, it's got to be measurable. When you actually want to achieve the goal, and this is where most people fall down. Hi, Tina. You've got to be thinking about, okay, am I actually motivated to hit this goal? And this is one of the big problems, because when we come into the online space, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I see an awful lot of marketing that is make your first 10K a month. And when I started out, I got really sucked into that trap. I was like, gotta make 10K a month, gotta make 10K a month. And then I kind of thought about it and I was like, it's a really arbitrary number. Why do I have to make 10K a month? Why can't I make 2 or 3 or 4? When I first started out my journey, I only wanted to make £1,500 a month. I wanted to cover my mortgage and cover my bills. And that was it. I was like, I just don't want to have to go into an office anymore. And so if I make £1,500 a month, I don't have to go into a corporate office. I can stay at home and I can do what I want here because it's cool. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. When we're picking these goals, we've got to have some motivation around why do we want to hit that specific number? Why do we want to hit, that specific magazine? Why do we want to be that visible? Why do we want to be that healthy? Because ultimately, in 6 months' time, when it's actually getting quite hard to keep eating healthy or to, consistently launch or to go back and reassess different bits of your business that are working and not working, it's not enough to just put a number on it. It's not enough to go, well, when I hit that 10K a month, everything's going to change, because the likelihood is it doesn't, right? You make, and there's a study that shows this. The average person who makes 24 grand a year, so dollars or pounds, doesn't make any difference, does not get any happier with their salary increase, right? Their levels of happiness don't shoot up the more money they make. That is the optimum. After you've finished making 24 grand a year, that's it. Money the money itself doesn't make you any happier. However, because I know everyone's like, what do you mean? This is ridiculous, I'm striving for my 10K month. Money itself doesn't do anything. The freedom does. So if you want to make 5K or 10K or 15K a month, you've got to tie it to something else that's bigger than just that number. Because, you know, you go two ways. One, you won't get any happier anyway, because, you know, study levels show that once you're earning 24K, that is it. Financially, that's the happiness peak of money. But secondly, if you start attaching your self-worth, and I attribute this to Heather Gray completely, because she said this to my masterminders a few months ago, when you start attributing your self-worth to the amount of money that you earn, you have a problem, right? We have to know that we are worth something, I was going to say, and then I was like, that sounds really harsh. You have to know that you're worthy before you make the money. And you have to keep that consistent mindset around, I am worthy, regardless of what I'm earning. Because otherwise, you run the risk of having a 20K month and being like, woohoo, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm this awesome person. And then having a 2K month and going, oh my God, I'm the worst person in the world. That's why nobody wants to buy from me, and then spiraling into some, you know, negative depression. And that's not what we want. Ultimately, you've got to be able in 6 months' time to still be inspired and motivated by hitting this goal. Does this make sense? Tina, I like that. Crap goals. That appeals to me. Heather, that's where I am now, make enough to shut down the local business. Exactly. And this is the thing. You know, the other thing that I'd say about actually hitting your goals is not comparing your goals to what somebody else's are. You know, when I started out, like I say, my goal, I wanted to make £1,500 a month. My goals were nowhere near the people who are now my peers. You know, I would look at somebody, let's say, for example, I would look at, I don't know, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is making 6 figures a month every month, like probably multi 6 figures a month every month. And I would look at him and I couldn't set the same goals that Tony Robbins was setting because it didn't work for my business. It didn't work for where I was. Even though I really wanted at some point my business to scale and to be a multi 6-figure business, I couldn't set those goals that somebody else was doing at multi 6 figures already. Does that make sense? Iron Man to the Spider-Man. If you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve it. Oh, that is so juicy. I want that on a meme. Love that. But it is that kind of thing. So think about your goals. When you're setting them, the only way that you're going to take them from being a goal and a vision to an actuality is understanding that that is your goal and having some kind of attachment to it that isn't just the number. Yeah. And don't be dissuaded by other people's goals. We saw someone the other day in the cash creation group who said, you know, I'd asked a question about what is it about, what the key learning lessons from cash creation that you need to know if you're new, so that you feel like you maximize your experience. And people are talking about comparisonitis and not letting, you know, the fear of what other people are doing stray into their lane and paralyzing them. And somebody said, you know, I really needed to hear this because I just assumed that, insert one of the Illuminized names, would just come in and do exactly what they've done last time and just ace it, and then I'd just be feeling like crap in the corner. It's the same with goal setting. You know, the only way to make your dream a reality is to actually make it your dream. So think about, you know, do you want to open that gym this year? Do you want to hold that retreat this year? Do you want to make this money this year? And if you do, all well and good, but make sure it's yours. You know, make sure it's not something that you're picking up because you're like, oh, well, Jess said she wants to get featured in Success magazine, so gonna go there. Or, you know, Tina says she wants to be Spider-Man, so I'm gonna go and do that too. Make sure it is your goal, okay? And then the other thing that's really always helped me turn visions into reality is accountability. You know, I don't believe you can hit a goal if you don't have some form of accountability. Now, it can be different for people. I'm not saying everyone has to go out and get a one-on-one coach because, quite honestly, not everyone needs a one-on-one coach. What I am saying, though, is that you have to find some way of keeping yourself accountable that isn't just you writing on your to-do list every single day. So for me, I have accountability. I've got Biz Bestie, Heather Gray. I tell her all the time, I'm going to go and do this. And she's like, yeah, go and do it. And then in a couple of weeks, if she hasn't heard anything about it, she's like, hey, Jess, I thought you were going to do this. I'm like, shit, she's got me. You know, I do have a one-on-one coach. I'm being mentored by Dan Meredith. And again, he's someone I show up and I say, I'm going to write a book. And he's like, right, okay, great. When are you going to write it? I'm like, I'm going to write it over Christmas. And he's like, right, great. When are you launching it? I'm like, I'm going to launch it on the 10th of February. And the book went to the printer today because I was accountable, because somebody else was saying to me, when is it coming? When is it happening? What are you doing? Is it ready? So think about what you need in that situation. Do you need accountability from your partner? You know, do you have a spouse, husband, wife, partner who can say, hey, how are you getting on with that thing? Sam does it to me. He's like, hey, Jess, I thought you were going to book speaking events for every month in 2018. I'm like, well, hold your horses there, pal, because I've done 2 in January. I've got 2 booked for February. I've got 1 booked for March. But it helps me stay on track. So maybe having a spouse or partner can do it. Maybe having a mastermind. Some people love masterminds. You know, they love the group environment and having other people to challenge them and to help them keep accountable. You know, sometimes that can really help you. I love that, Tina. Accountability was the thing that changed my business. And we've just been talking about how proud I am of you. You know, Tina came into the Dotties and, you know, we were talking about it earlier and we were talking about the way that she's just completely transformed as a person, but also as a business owner, you know, and how she really has stayed accountable and how actually things are really, really taking off for her. You know, she's someone to watch in 2018 because it's just going to be phenomenal. But if you need that accountability, look at the options. What's out there? Spousal partner, mastermind, membership group, you know, with a community that's strong, one-on-one coaching, group coaching where there's access to mentors and things. Even your personal trainer, you know, it doesn't matter who it is, but you've got to, without accountability, the goal doesn't happen. It stays a dream because it's so easy for us, especially as business owners and especially when you're a service-based business owner. And this is a trap I fall into all the time. I do all of my clients' stuff first. My clients get the absolute best out of me. And I love that because they're paying for that. They should get the best of me. Also, though, it's very, very easy for me to fall into the trap where I go, I'm going to do client work today and tomorrow and the next day. And then as a result, my stuff doesn't happen. So, you know, had I not taken Christmas off, had I not said, I'm not working over Christmas, I'm not going to be present in my communities, you know, I'm going to check in every so often, but I really need to get this book written, there is absolutely no sodding way ever would the book have gone to the printers today, right? So you've got to ultimately make sure that you have the resources, both mentally and space-wise, you know, physically, to actually do your stuff, achieve your goals. Your goal is just as important as your client's goals. So don't blur those lines. Make sure you have a specific day for your own goals or specific times in your day for achieving the things that you want to achieve. Didn't you say to me the worst plumbing in the houses of plumbers? Yeah, exactly that. And it's true because it's so easy. And do you know why that is? And it's one of those things I learned in corporate. When we are reactive in business, our business suffers. So when we're reactive, when we go, oh, this client just hired me, I'm going to immediately put all of my stuff to one side. I'm just going to do their stuff and, you know, your stuff sits on the back burner. You are reactive. When you're proactive, when you have a proactive sales strategy and you can say, okay, I want to get 10 clients between now and March, and here's how that's going to happen. Here's how many calls I'm going to have to do. Here's how visible I'm going to have to be. Here's how many leads I'm going to have to get in order to make that happen. When you're proactive, when that client comes in, you onboard them, you give them the same amazing service, but you're not reactive to it. You know, you're taking that client and you're saying, okay, cool. Here's the onboarding process you've got to go through. You've got to go and book your first session. You've got to go and fill out your welcome pack or whatever it is that they need to do. while you're doing those things, I'm going to continue with what's on my quota for today, which is doing something that hits my goal, making sure that my other clients are looked after, giving a free training in my community, whatever those things might be. Does that make sense? So we don't want to, and I think if anyone's struggling with like feast or famine months and going from, yay, I'm having a 10K month down to I'm having a 2K month, and you're doing it regularly, it's because you're being reactive. Instead of you driving the market and you saying to people, I am available for 3 new clients, 4 new clients, 10 new clients, and I'm onboarding and having a sales strategy that copes with that, you're being reactive. And so every client that comes in is the next best thing since sliced bread. And so in trying to over deliver and make or give them reassurance that they've made the right decision, you're putting your own business in the place where it's suffering. And that means that your business doesn't get the same chance to grow. All right, so that's what I wanted to share today. If you have a big dream, amazing. I'm really excited. 2018, I think, is going to be a huge year. You know, I'm seeing people doing phenomenally well in January, which I'm always excited about. But it also sets the tone for people to have a really, really awesome year. What I don't want is in 6 months' time to see people who have these huge dreams still be struggling and still be thinking, oh goodness, you know, I set this goal in January and now it's not looking like it's going to happen. So please, please, please make sure that if you are setting goals in January, if you do have a big vision for 2018, that you're setting something that's realistic, that challenges you, that you're motivated by, and that you're not attaching your self-worth to. You know, make sure it stretches you. Make sure that you are held accountable by somebody or some other people to make sure that you've got that public accountability or private accountability that is really going to make sure that you hit the goal. All right, so that's it for me today. If anyone has any questions, if you want to ask anything about goal setting, about hitting the goal, about achieving the vision, steps you need to take, things that I've done in my business to achieve specific things, hit me. I'm here. I'm just going to have a quick drink. But yeah, if you've got any questions around doing it yourself or around, you know, what it actually involves or what you need to do specifically in your business, let me know, because I want everyone to make sure they get enough from the training and that they get everything they need to walk away and go, yeah, actually, I've got a goal for 2018 and I can do that. I will also have a resource, a physical resource coming out on this one, which reminds me, there are a couple of people who asked recently if they could have the top 10 money-making activities. So I'm just writing that down so I can get that in here for you guys tomorrow. I don't know if that's anyone on here, but somebody asked recently, a couple of people asked recently if they could have access to that. And I was like, yeah, you can. And I don't think I've posted the link in a little while, so I will put that back in. If you have questions, hit the like button or one of the other little buttons just so I can see you've got a question. Otherwise, you're just going to get me shoulder dancing awkwardly until I'm like, no, okay, I'll just leave. So if you've got questions, throw up a little emoji or a like or a heart or whatever, and I'll wait for questions. And if you don't have questions, I'm back in the group tomorrow. We'll be doing the live trainings every week. I'm going to be getting some dotties in here to be doing dotty trainings and dotty lives. We call them the dotty live takeovers. From now until the end of the year anyway, so you'll be seeing lots and lots of dotty faces in here doing different trainings. And again, if you do have things that you would like to see trainings on, please let me know. You know, hit me up with an email or tag me in the group and let me know what it is that you want to learn about so that we can make sure that you've got everything that you need in here. Okay, awesome. In that case, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy your evenings, afternoons, mornings, wherever you are in the world. I will be back in here tomorrow. I've got some really, really cool content coming out this week, so keep your eyes peeled. If you haven't got notifications set to on for this group, make sure you have, because tomorrow we've got an epic exercise coming for you, and I've got some really, really cool content coming over this week and next to help you maximize all that stuff that you can do in January to make the most money and have the most fun this year in your business. Awesome. All right, my loves. See you soon. Bye.